Is that how you're going to start the show? A little cough?
Good thing you learn while being an experienced podcaster like us is that when you do cough, you don't cough straight into the mic.
Right.
Because the audience can hear it.
I think... Did someone do that last week? Oh, no, I think I was listening to a podcast last week.
It does happen. It does. You got to learn. But also, I think, sometimes you feel like you got like a bit of GERD and you sound like shit.
You got a bit of GERD.
But actually, your voice sounds quite cool. You said about Christian having a very sexy voice.
He does have a sexy voice.
There you go, man. That's that sexy GERD.
Sometimes I listen to my voice in this pod, and if I'm like particularly like interesting or like I'm particularly like talking about something, I'm
Where's
like,
the
damn,
first traps?
am I getting aroused by my own voice?
It does happen. ASMR's a huge thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what I love.
We don't really we don't try and do that here.
Well, we spend more time.
We do it unconsciously.
I think we spend more time screaming down the microphones than we do talking very nice and sexually into them.
There must be some screamo ASMR if you catch my. Can you do quite screamo?
What?
It's just quiet though. It's weird. I don't know. There you go.
There you go.
See,
I got a topic for us to start on today, Connor.
Go on, Aidan. Lay it on me.
I'm not a collector, right?
Nah.
I'm a collector of some things in Doctor Who, but not many things. I wouldn't classify myself as a collector. I get most of the Blu-rays.
You got the stamps.
I got the stamps.
You can watch that video if you want.
But even then, that wasn't me like collecting them. I got that in like one thing, right? Plus, that was got for me. But have I just cut open?
Have you got?
No, I think I've cut my thumb. Don't worry.
With your nails?
I don't know. Ow, I'm in a lot of pain. But let's move on.
You cut your nails recently?
I did, but that's not what this is about. What I was gonna suggest. Well, no, my question to you, Conor Hannam.
Yes, here I am.
You ever thought about diving into Doctor Who merch at all?
Like t-shirts and shit?
Well, little things like that, little collector things.
Come on, man.
Not something that says I'm a fucking nerd.
Come on, man.
But like...
What, I'm a Whovian? Is that what you want me to wear?
Whovians unite.
Yeah, Whovians unite.
Number one Whovians fan.
Yeah, Whovian in the house. Do you mean like getting into merchandise, like buying like the figurines and stuff? Or...
Well, I know you're never going to buy hundreds of them. But like, have you ever been like, I wouldn't mind like a little figure to go on the shelf here?
Yeah, I actually was thinking the other day, and I've been researching it for a while. It's only because it's a little bit expensive. I want to do a video where I open up the Titan figures, like get the blind boxes, which I thought would be really fun. And you can like pull out like even like quite rare ones and stuff. Mm-hmm. I thought that'd be fun. I just think like I have so much stuff. I don't want to say I'm a hoarder because I know it's a serious thing.
You are a person with a lot of stuff.
Well, I am a person with a lot of stuff. I keep the run sheets.
Yeah.
Another one for my collection is a joke I make after every show.
Last word Conor says to me whenever we leave the studio is he grabs the run sheet off the table and goes, another one for my collection.
And you can guess what maybe that's from.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, correct. I just like collecting shit because I'm very sentimental. And then maybe like once a year I'll look at it and go, oh, and then walk away. Like, that's it. So maybe that'd be me with...
You didn't even sound happy. You weren't like, You weren't sad. You were just like, oh, there's that.
It depends what mood I'm in. Right. I literally have like all my like stuff from Nerd Life Reviews, all the shit I used to have on my wall. Mm-hmm. People did some drawings for me. Mm-hmm. I have all that still. So I would say I'm a bit of a collector. I'm a collector of vinyls. When it comes to Doctor Who stuff though, not gonna lie, I like to maintain my social life a little bit, so I'm kidding. I'm a Doctor Who podcast.
You do.
I ain't hating. Go on. What's your? I feel like you've thrown out a hook.
What's my angle? Is that
you've thrown out a line and there's a little hook, and I've taken the bait. What am I signing up for here?
No, literally nothing. Because I've just been like thinking. Because for me, my biggest thing, I don't like to buy a lot of Doctor Who things or things. I collect all the Blu-rays, and if something really tickles my fancy, like a bit of merch, I'll buy it. But I gotta say, very rare. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I bought something Doctor Who that wasn't a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually can't remember that. But I love like just when once in a blue moon something comes along. I was really hoping to maybe get a couple of things to celebrate the 60th. But, and this maybe ties into a topic that we're going to talk about later in the episode, I don't know if A, my hype is there at the moment, and B, I there's not been a lot of 60th merch. I know, like, I feel like around the 50th, and we're only in March. I'm sure so much more stuff still to be announced and got to come out.
Nearly April, though.
We're nearly in April, and I'm just like...
Well, you didn't like the 60th logo T-shirts?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. But, like, Forbidden Planet in the UK, they've got, like, a cool range.
Yeah.
I'd love to get invested in that if it wasn't in the UK, because it's like... They're not actually extortionarily priced by any means, but it's like to get it shipped over here and things like that for like what? I don't know. Like I keep looking at pins. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a pin.
Yeah.
Mate,
well, we're the equivalent of like Mars on Earth when it comes to Doctor Who. Like we're so far away. Like getting this stuff is not.
You're saying Australia is Mars.
Well, specifically Perth. Like I know we're kind of the red soil over here.
Yeah,
if you catch my drift. I think you made a good point about how you wanted to get like a little Dark and a little Cyberman figure to go next to your Blu-rays. I think that's cute, and I think that's a good thing you could probably buy this year.
That's you
know,
I've always wanted to get like a 60s Dalek and like a 80s like Earthshock Cyberman.
There you go.
But then the other thing that I've been like maybe a good option to celebrate the 60th, because I think it's a really cool set, and I know it got a lot of shit at first, but the actual figures look a lot better, is that 14th Doctor and Jodie regeneration set. Because that looks awesome. Like I think that looks really cool. I know the mold of David isn't the best, but it is a lot better in person from what I've seen. Yeah,
I feel like space is a big thing. You know, where to put it, what to do with it. My social, you know, I've got to keep up my social platform, you know, a little bit when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't want the mailman going, all right,
look at this nerd.
What's this? You know,
my
they shake
thing,
boxes. You know, they're cheeky.
Doctor Who Twitter. Let me tell you, they would lose their shit if they knew like the amount of shit that I like throw away that comes with stuff. My favorite thing to do is whenever I get like a collection Blu-ray set, like is taking off the slip cover. That, let's face it, it's packaging. It literally is packaging. I know it's
kind of disagree.
You think?
Yeah.
But you collect everything. You know, that's the problem.
Last thing, you know, I kept all the Star Wars slip-over cases for all the limited edition.
Like, I don't keep that stuff.
Still big Blu-rays. Yeah, I've still got those. Yeah, I'm weird like that though.
The only thing is like the backs are kind of good on them because they tell you more about the special features.
Not anymore, mate. It's in fucking the dump.
Tamala Park, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but that's okay.
It's the local dump. The dump isn't down the road, mate. The dump is the dump for like so many places in this area. Conor's so petrified that one day he's gonna like wake up and there's gonna be a man with a gun to his head and be like, I hate what you said on the 50th.
That is literally like my number one fear. The thing is, so Twitter needs to fucking shut up, okay? I literally messaged Dan today and I literally said, I'm not joking, I said, Dan, you're being a Twitter keyboard warrior.
Oh, he is.
Stop it. Stop it. It's not going to get you anywhere. Stop it. And he said, I do one tweet and you're on my ass. And I was like, no, I've seen a lot. And I'm over it.
I've thought about that too.
Okay?
Deeply.
It's just poop here.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
Poopy. Yeah.
Let it flow.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of comments out there, especially about Doomsday, which we're going to talk about soon, which regardless, some of it is
I'm angry, Aidan.
Some of it is relevant, but some of it is stupid. And yeah, people need to figure out what to do more with themselves. There was a knock on a wall right next to us then, wasn't there?
Yeah, what was that?
It's a ghost. This is when we do Aidan's magic trick again, where he goes, if there's anyone in the room near us anytime soon.
Well, you were talking about that with Nicole, weren't you?
Well, no, hold on. Let me do my bit.
Someone grabbed her leg.
Yes, it's worked a few times in a few spooky places I've been to.
There you go.
If anyone is near us right now, play the 50% theme for us all.
Wow. It was so quick.
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%. Pop, cat.
Might have been the slip of my thumb. I don't know.
Not even a second delay.
No, just a ghosty on my computer.
Almost like you knew what you were going to say.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor for more lovely laughs. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. We want 1,000 subscribers and we want them now. So get them to us, please.
Give us this validation. Imagine being like, hey, I have a podcast with 1,000 subscribers.
Validation, but more importantly, monetization.
Yeah. Well, if you get our watch hours up, yes. So yeah, please watch, subscribe, like, comment, nice comments, and
nice comments only.
Tell one friend about it because we are independent, and that's how it spreads.
Well, I also would love a 5-star review if you can. We're just giving these guys like a day's worth of tasks to do here. Make sure you subscribe.
It's so hard to hit a button. Review. Oh, you poor figs.
And also,
so lovely to our audience, aren't I?
we've got a spin-off podcast starring me and recurring guest on this show, Vinny, Ted Lasso post-match, where we talk about the new season of Ted Lasso every week after a new episode has come out because we love that bloody show.
Yeah.
And Conor loves it too.
I do. I watched episode 2 last night and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Today's show.
What's so fucking funny about that?
Nothing. I'm just moving on. I'm just turning the page in the run sheet. Joke's on me. The run sheet's only one page.
Yeah, it's a bit of a small one today.
So I did it really quickly. Today's show, we are going to talk about the big controversial announcement.
Doomsday.
Not to be confused with
Doomsday.
We're going to ask the question, where's the 60th hype at, man?
Where is it, mate?
Because I feel like this time in the 50th, I was a bit more hyped for the 50th than I am now. But we're going to get to that. And then...
Maybe.
Finally, we're going to get to the Eaters of Light.
Eaters of the Shite.
The main reason we're here today is reviewing Eaters of Light.
Eaters of the Shite.
Eaters of the Shite. So yeah, starting off Doomsday, we got a cryptic teaser last Sunday. Mm-hmm. Last Sunday, it was counting down. It had some like dubstep in the background.
Were you excited? Were you like, let's go?
Let's go!
What did you actually think it was going to be?
Not much.
Really?
No, not much early on.
Why?
Well, I thought it doesn't sound like mainstream Doctor Who. No, mainstream Doctor Who's not going to be dubstep. Someone suggested it could have been a new composer announcement. I'm like, if this is the music they're doing for the new composer announcement... Is that his
name? Composed by Doomsday. It's like some kind of like rapper's name. I love that.
I thought pretty quick it's probably going to be like Big Finish, expanded media related.
Yeah. Which we've been told we're getting quite a bit this year, so...
The only thing, and maybe this was dumb and naive of me, but the only thing that I did think was... the clock stops at 11 quite blatantly, and I was like, maybe it is a Matt Smith announcement. Okay. I didn't think so, but I was like, maybe. Anyways, the following day, we were given more information and a trailer. An amazing trailer. Yeah. A fantastic trailer. It
was so good, man.
It's my favourite thing ever.
I've rewatched it heaps.
And what a way to start an era.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. This is...
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I'm absolutely not being serious.
You are. So...
our leading actor, who seems like a fantastic actor,
she's a comedian.
Susie?
She's a comedian.
She's a comedian. Yeah,
who's an actress as well.
Was she called Susie? Is that right? Susie.
I'll talk while you do that.
Yep.
I agree.
Explain the concept.
I'll tell you what the concept is. It's a pain in my ass. All right, that's what it is.
That's not explaining it, Conor.
I'm getting there. So it's set over 24 hours.
Yes.
Okay, and it's like 24 different pieces of media, but the media is going to be like extended over different platforms such as comics, books, audio. I think there's a few. They're doing a few like interactive things as well, aren't they? Like in Time of Victorious when they did the interactive like shit.
Maybe.
This is just annoying. Okay, I'm going to be completely real with you. This really like rubbed me the wrong way. Again, I made a tweet about this saying like, you know, God bless to everyone involved, wish them the best, but for me, it was just a misfire. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've seen like out of like maybe like 1 in 10 people actually be happy / excited for it.
Well,
and I think there's many reasons why, to be fair.
I think there's a lot of reasons why.
There's a lot of reasons why. Sorry, were you saying something?
I couldn't, for some reason, this announcement is literally evading me. Like, no matter what I type in on Google, I cannot find this announcement.
Well, that's the thing. That's the biggest problem, because when Aidan then just typed in Doomsday Doctor Who, of course, Doomsday pops up.
Yeah, literally. And it kept, like, auto-correcting to Doomsday.
That's such a L on the BBC's part.
What I want to say is that this poll, and I'll let you know the what's the word I'm looking for? The audience size of it, I can't remember what I'm looking at. The sample size. The sample size of this poll is only 42 people. But I posted on Twitter, what are your thoughts on Doomsday, the multi-platform event?
Not to be mistaken, not season 2 final.
I know, you've got to like clarify, right? I know it's spelt different, but geez. And I put up there as the options, love this kind of stuff, I might buy 1 or 2, or it's a no from me. And what I'll say is the middle option, right? Which is maybe where I stand, although I don't really see myself really diving into stuff. I might buy 1 or 2, got 31% of the votes. It's a no from me, got 64% of the votes.
Yeah, wow.
Only 5% of these 42 people said, I love this kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's literally like
that's what I mean.
2 or 3
That's
people.
what I mean. Like, it's not really got the kind of reception I think they are, were looking for. to me, I think they instantly set themselves up for failure and shot themselves in the foot for a few reasons. Number one, they hyped it up massively.
I didn't really have a problem with like the countdown thing.
Yeah, but that's the problem though, Aidan. Like, everyone on Twitter just goes fucking nuts.
That's
right?
Twitter, mate.
And we're like in this space now where I just wish they would have like given us a little bit of a heads up. Like it's not going to be like it's a multi-platform thing. Find out more tomorrow.
Yeah,
because people just went nuts and like you said, like thought it was like gonna be a Matt Smith announcement. But like you can't. I don't think you can blame the audience for being like upset. I mean, like
No.
it's called Doomsday for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
People first over Doomsday with the whole David and Rose relationship. They were expecting something to do with that. A lot of people were, at least.
Yeah.
Or like a connection to it or something like that. They kind of just like shot themselves in the foot. And yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I watched the trailer. I went in trying to give it the time of day. I left feeling really confused and quite disappointed. I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but I just feel like it just kind of sucked. Like it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. It starts with like I'm the world's greatest assassin. And by the way, I think that's like satire. It's got to be, because if it isn't,
yeah, stupid.
This isn't Boba Fett over here, It's like, come on, like, what's going on? I don't get what they're going for. And you made a good point. It's like, you got to be like a millionaire to follow this whole story.
Yeah,
it's so convoluted and hard to follow.
Can I take the reins for a moment?
Of course.
I think, and I don't want to pass judgment on a lot of it yet, because it's obviously not been released.
Yeah.
And so we don't actually know. And it's a lot of familiar writers on there that have done great Doctor Who spin-off stuff in the past. I think, for me, it's, yes, a massive cash thing. You've got to collect them all, right?
All 24, yeah.
All 24, maybe. They haven't even said.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, it's 24 hours of the day.
But she didn't go down the camera and say there's going to be 24 pieces of media.
But I think I read it's like every hour is a different story.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think there's going to be 24 different.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think it will be. I like the concept of these big media events where you're jumping from one thing to another. I think there is like a thing where it's like a definite big money thing. But I don't hate it as the concept. The story that they've given us where Doom is about to she's going to get like blown up, did she say? If
Death is coming after her.
If she doesn't like meet the Doctor or something, so she's trying to meet the Doctor and she's the world's deadliest assassin. Sure, that's fine. Does that justify a 24-part multi-platform series? Probably not. I think it's like a good idea for a one standalone episode. Once again, my proper judgment, I'll pass on that for now because we've not seen how it plays out. But the big thing for me, right, is at the moment, Doctor Who is at this place, and I've said this a few times on the podcast, that I compare it a lot to where it was in the late 80s. Where it turned into that little sci-fi show, and I like 80s Who, but to the general public, it turned into this little sci-fi show that had like terrible budgets and they couldn't do a lot, and it was the cringe sci-fi show that you're an absolute nerd if you watch. Mm-hmm. I think Jodie's era, whilst I'm not saying it didn't have good viewing figures or anything, but the table conversations you have with your extended family and stuff like that, that is what it has become. People
absolutely.
don't really watch Doctor. A lot of people don't watch Doctor Who anymore, and it's a little bit more in that nerd category if you do. And that's fine. This is not criticism of Chib's era at all. But what it's a criticism of is that Russell is clearly trying to make Doctor Who sexy again. All right? Jumping onto Disney, the casting, everything about it is it's very modern, it's very fresh. And the first thing, yes, we got a trailer on Christmas Eve, sure, or Christmas Day. But the first thing that so many people see of this era is this thing that looks significantly worse than anything we've seen in Doctor Who before, just in terms of production value. And like, yes, I don't think the script of the trailer was good. I don't think the costume design was bought from Red Dot, I'm sure.
Red Dot. Can I hop in real quick?
One sentence to finish up.
Yeah.
I think you can't start. I think this was a terrible decision. Like, I generally think this trailer was the worst thing they could have done. I know it's a big negative statement, but that's how I sit with it.
I was going to say, to what extent has Russell been a part of it though?
That's what's
was it in the works before?
I think Susie. I wish I could find this woman's name, but I can't. she said on Twitter that she's known about it since November.
That's right. Okay. Well, that's when everything was cooking with. Well, everything. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh,
So-
I don't know. Oy.
I'd be more interested if it tied into the show. There's also the argument of like,
What Doctor is it going to be?
well, we're always like
She's looking for the doc. So is it like the 14th?
we always want more characters, more original characters. Everyone's always out there going, we want the new Captain Jack or the new
We have
bloody
a
River
Stone.
Song. We've got bloody Doom, mate.
Yeah, Doom, yeah.
But I just think this thing, they're like, oh, it's to celebrate 60 years. And I'm like, is it? Because it's like, nothing in the trailer gave me celebrating 60 years vibe. Nothing in any of the press release. Yes, she's going to bump into a few of the doctors along the way.
There's a
possibly.
vortex manipulator, Aidan.
Oh my god, so cool.
What a great connection, though.
But I'm like,
That's a joke, by the way. I'm not. I hear sounds.
I wish that this multi-platform event was based off of what the main Big Finish thing for the 60th, which is a big series called Once and Future. I'll be honest, probably not going to listen to it because it costs $1 billion to buy as well. But the idea of like a 60th anniversary multi-platform event that jumps from multiple doctors in different mediums, that sounds more interesting to me as a way to celebrate the 60th in expanded media than Doom. And I know that's kind of stupid because it's like, yes, we want more original characters. I just
agree,
don't think this was the right way to do this thing.
No, I agree. And it's like, you had something like Redacted, which was free. All you have to do is download the BBC Sounds app. It was amazing. And it's like completely new rise for season 2. It's like everyone loved that.
Yeah.
So we're not out here hating, saying like, we hate every single kind of like new idea. And it's like,
No,
it's not like that. We loved Redacted. I didn't hear anyone who didn't like Redacted, and it was free. I think the problem is, it's like, you're right, it's a cash grab. And I'm kind of sat here wondering to what extent Russell had to do with it. And we've also got to think, I messaged you about this. I don't know if we like kind of disagreed on this point, but I said to you, like, this is Disney's new show. Like, they got to go out there and promote this thing and make Doctor Who, like you said, like, you know, look sexy again.
Yes.
This is their new product. This is their new face that's going to be a part of the Disney Plus platform, why people will subscribe each month to their service, which is a huge part where they get their revenue from as a company.
Yeah.
So to what extent, I wonder, do the people at Disney have with stuff like this, which you're right, do make the show look like a bit of a laughing stock? Because if I saw that trailer from like an outsider's perspective as like someone who isn't a fan, I'd be like, what on God's green earth is this?
It's such a pivotal time in terms of redeeming Doctor Who in the general public, and I just think
that's correct.
this doesn't work. Suze Kempner is who's playing Doom, by the way. I finally found it.
Yeah, God bless, you know.
And she seems to have a fantastic political stance, and I know she's got some great views in terms of like a big advocate for trans rights and things like that. But I wasn't sold yet on the performance in there, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because you don't get any Deadly Assassin vibes from her at all. I also think the 24 Hours concept is done and dusted a million times before. There's literally a show called 24 that did the exact same thing. Like, it has been done a million times before. It's a very like 42 Chris Chibnall in the RTD era type thing, or
There's a countdown,
in the Moffat era.
right?
Yeah, he's the king of countdowns in all of his solo episodes.
No, I agree. It's kind of sad, man. Like, I'm not really vibing with the idea of it, and it's kind of sad to be seeing like a bit of a as like just a consumer that can just like spit out all this money when it's like, hang on a minute, like, you know, we all work hard every day. Like, what are you really giving me that makes me want to go out and spend my hard-earned dough? It's like, you're already doing all these Big Finish like audios, which is going to cost you an arm and a leg if you want to download, and if you do, that's great. But it's like, that hasn't enticed me yet. You mentioned merch before. You know, why ain't I rocking the 60th shirt? I don't know. Maybe you should be asking yourself that, BBC execs who are watching this right now.
I think, and without me being a branding guy at all, I don't have any background in that. But there's a certain element of brand cohesiveness, and when you're trying to sell this new era of Doctor Who as the sexy version of Doctor Who, it looks sleek, it looks like a big Marvel budget, and they keep saying that in all the press releases they do, to then release this.
Yeah, shit this out.
Put it this way, Star Wars, which makes a variety of different things, and yes, sometimes the VFX are better or worse, you've never got this from Star Wars. You know, something in Star Wars, hit and miss. You've never got this thing that looks like, genuinely, and I'm trying not to be a dick here, but fans could do a better job at this.
Well, they could have.
In both costuming and VFX.
That's the sad bit.
And that's... And I know it's like there probably wasn't much money into it, and then it's hard to sort of counteract that because if there's not money, there's not time to be put into it. But then it's also like, if you're not putting money into this big promo, do you really care about what you're making, or are you just making the material to make money?
Exactly, man. I mean, it's hard. Like, Doctor Who fans, like, people like us and, like, our friends who watch the show, we're loyal. Like, we stick with the show no matter what. And this kind of, unfortunately, kind of felt like they were just kind of taking the piss out of the fans a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just the kind of vibe I got from it. It was like, you know, you're right. It's like, kind of just like, shit this out. It's like, who cares? But it's like, you know, we do
Don't
care.
mind me whilst I take a big dump.
Yeah, it's like, but we do care. It's like, and we do notice that stuff, and we do want better quality, and that's what we've been saying for the last couple of years. And, you know, I am sick of sitting down and saying I'm a Doctor Who fan, and everyone goes, oh, I watched, you know, David Tennant. I've heard that 1,000 times, you know, and it's like, and then I stopped. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's actually working with this. I don't know. I feel like they were making so many great decisions. I felt like they were handling the marketing really well. I think Russell's been great on socials. And then this, to me, was like quite a few steps back.
It really was. Like, it just...
And
yeah,
Russell didn't even
miss.
post it to his socials, which I think is a big indicator.
I don't know. I think he's probably... I don't know.
Of it being shit.
I wouldn't think too much into that.
I would. He posts
I wouldn't go
everything.
that way.
He posts everything about it. Why
No,
would he not post that?
I don't think he didn't post
Why
it
not,
because he's
though?
not proud of it. I don't think so.
I think so.
No, I wouldn't. I think you're thinking too much into that.
No, I
But-
think so. Because why else would he not post it, though?
Because he's busy and it's not the main show. It's not his project.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, what extent did he have in it, though? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know how much he's involved in.
They have to be thinking about this kind of stuff, though, because it reflects on, like, the show itself. And I think this is a thing that the BBC, Russell, and Disney need to all come together about and think about how this kind of stuff affects the show as a product, as a brand. Because stuff like that just makes it look like shit.
Yeah. What I will say in defense of us being very negative and angry for a minute there is I've not shied away from the fact that I like the Australian rules football, right?
Oh, God.
I'm not going on a tangent about that, don't worry. But what I'm saying is, like, I listen to podcasts about AFL and I listen to podcasts about movie reviews and things like that. And I feel like within the Doctor Who community, at times, I think it's wrong to really dislike something, and it's wrong to voice that. And I'm not saying go and post endless tweets. I'm not saying tag people. I'm not saying message people. Don't do any of that stuff. It's stupid. But what I'm saying is, like, I think there's a lot of people out there in the community who think it's not like that. It's wrong to criticize what you love, and when your footy team isn't showing up for it, you know. Then you criticize, you know. Freo Dockers, my team, they lost their first game of the season. And this Freo fan podcast, who are very much involved with Freo and have had the chance to go and interview players there a lot, they burnt them to shreds in the new episode because they played terribly. And this was a terrible play from Doctor Who, in my opinion. And I'm just shitting that out into the void.
Yeah, no, it's like, why not? I don't think, like... I think there's a way of being productively critical. I don't think any of our, fans of the show might disagree, or listeners might disagree, but I don't think any of our criticism is to hurt the show. I think it's to... I don't know, you made a good point eons ago about how, these are people's jobs, and I think we all do stuff in our own jobs sometimes we need to be called out for, and that's understandable when we kind of take it on the chin. You're like, yeah, you're right, maybe I should be doing this a bit better. And it's the same with that, you're right, you have to criticize this kind of thing, because it's like, yeah, let's just hope that, I don't know, I just hope that this is maybe just a small blip in the run to the 60th.
I think it is.
I agree. I think until now, I think they've been doing a great job.
I think it'll be like November and we're watching the 60th and we're loving it and we're like, ha ha ha.
Well, what if Doom
Remember
rocks
that
up?
Doomsday thing Doom isn't going to rock up because
Are you
Doom was
sure?
cast in November.
Yeah, but come on.
60th was shot in July, mate.
Mate, they can do reshoots.
They're not, nah. And that for me is
Hi,
like
I'm
another...
Doom. How you doing, guys? It's me, yo.
If Doom was going to be involved in some stuff, then I'd be far more interested. But the fact that she's not, it's just like a less interesting version of Time Lord Victorious, right? Because at least Time Lord Victorious was like about an interesting part of the 10th Doctor's run. This just is not.
Doom will rock up in the 60th, and you'll only understand why she's there if you've watched all 24 parts of... I mean, she said she has to interact with some kind of Doctor, and I don't know whose it's going to be. And if you are interested in that, please feel free to go and enjoy this multi-platform story. Don't let anyone tell you it's shit.
Exactly.
But if you think it's shit, then be respectful, but also don't DM what's her name on Instagram and tell her she's shit, because it's like, shut up. Like,
yeah, and she seems like a good person, so it's
literally
not like...
grow up. Like, don't do that kind of thing. You're a twat if you do that.
I feel like we're kind of like... Our situation right now is like, we want more Doctor Who, and then they give us more Doctor Who, and we're like, not that Doctor Who. We don't want that one.
Put it back in. I ain't done yet.
Give us another one.
I'm saying let them cook, and I'm like, it's still raw. Let them still cook. You know? I'm letting you cook. Just it's escapism, isn't it? End of the day. And when I come home from a long day at work, I ain't gonna kick my fucking feet up and listen to Doomsday. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, I'm the deadliest assassin.
I'm in my bed like,
yes.
Fucking God, I love this shit.
With her costume. It does look like it was bought from Red Dot, right?
Yeah, Red Dot's a bit of a niche reference.
Okay, it looks like it was bought from...
Poundland.
That's a good one.
Poundland, which is pretty much our Red Dot. I don't know how many Australian viewers we have.
Speaking of pounding,
okay.
there's no segue link there.
Okay, now we're talking.
But moving on, I would like to say that I love Doctor Who.
Bro, we have a Doctor Who podcast. I think we do love it.
I have realised though that my next point is a little bit negative. So
Fuck
I'm
me.
Like,
so
I don't want this to be the negative rant.
This is the 50% negative podcast,
So
bro.
let's try and talk with positive tones about this thing. And my question to you, Connor, is Doctor Who is in its 60th anniversary year. I don't know if you know.
Is it? Holy shit.
It is. Well, because the thing is, I don't know if you would know. Well, you probably would. Like, I don't know what it's like being in the UK or anything.
I don't think people do that. I think I've told people like several times, and they keep forgetting, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it is."
No,
yeah.
it is too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel? And look, the 50th is obviously a bigger celebration than the 60th. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I'm trying to add humor, so I'm not just negative Nancy all episode. Banter. Doctor Who bad.
Yeah, Doctor Who is bad. It is.
The 50th, I was so excited the whole year. And a big thing about that, I think...
Were you? I don't know if you were.
No, but I definitely...
don't think you were.
Put it this way. I was up and down in emotions in how I felt the quality of the show was.
Yeah.
But I was still very excited for the 50th the whole way. And I think it's hard to compare this to the 60th because in the 50th, we had an 8-episode run of episodes and then we had the special... And whereas this is like we just know we have the 3 specials, like 4th, including Christmas at the end of the year.
Free. That's insane.
Which is it's going to be amazing, that stuff.
We didn't even get free for the 50th.
I know, and so but I think like
and you're complaining, Aidan,
fuck me.
Shut the fuck up. Stop
That's
being so
not my
negative.
point.
No, I know. It's
my
not.
point is like, and it's a shame because I don't think there's another way they could have done it. But we had 8 episodes, the back half of season 7 at the start in like April of 2013.
Yeah,
and they were clearly made to be big, exciting episodes in that way that to kind of hype you up.
Well, it was a movie a week.
It was, and I respect Moffat. I think that was a good decision.
If you saw it that way, which I'm sure a lot of you didn't.
Well, regardless of the quality of the episode, I appreciate the angle that he took, trying to make
positive,
all the episodes big and massive and like just fun. That series 7, criticize what you like, they're fun episodes. Like episodes don't work; they fall flat. But there's so many fun ones in there.
Compared to season 10, yeah, I'd take season 7 any day of the week.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about that when we finish series 10 because it's an interesting season.
Yeah, shit. That's what's interesting about it. Yeah.
Well,
your point though, yeah, go on.
My point is though that I think because of that, I was far more excited for the 50th than I am now for the 60th because we've sat on the same news for ages. Like since July, we've not learned an awful lot new about the 60th. Like, we got a trailer in December, which was great, but I've said this before, the trailer just showed us better footage of what we'd already seen filmed on the streets most of the time, which I don't have a problem with. I think that's
appreciate
great.
that.
I genuinely do appreciate that, and I think that's the right thing to do. But I'm just like, would it kill for like a mini-zode? Like, Red Nose Day, we got nothing in the end. We got
God.
David Tennant regenerating. Lenny Henry.
That was absolutely awful.
Lenny Henry regenerating to David Tennant. I'm like, would it kill to just put out like just a couple of breadcrumbs throughout the year to be like, it's the 60th, guys.
Did you love all the, by the way, all the promo pictures they took was just like still shots from the scene.
Yeah.
So every single pose that David Tennant made,
we'd seen it all.
We'd already seen it.
Yeah.
And then he ran out the room. Yeah, okay. All right, do I think there should be more hype? Yes. I'm sat here. I'm like, I'm cradling myself. I'm trying to like think straight, and I can't because I'm not getting any hype for the 60th.
Well, I think we're
okay. Is that what you want me to say, Aidan?
Yes.
You want me to be positive?
No, but
what the fuck? How can I please this man around here? Jeez.
No, I'm saying that this argument that I'm making, because this was very much my point on the run sheet.
God, yeah.
Is like, it's so counter everything we just said, because we were just like, new Doctor Who, but it's shit. And now we're like, but we want more Doctor Who. Like, why are we not hyped for the 60th? And they're like, here is a thing to celebrate the 60th. I guess connecting it to the Doomsday thing is like, the Doomsday thing I'm just so not hyped for, and I don't think is a celebration of the 60th. I think that's just...
To what extent is it?
It's coming out this year, so yeah, it's a celebration
so
of the 60th.
Is any content that comes out this year going to be associated with the celebration to the 60th?
That's very much how I feel about this.
Yeah. I think it's a great time marketing-wise to chuck out Doctor Who poop-air. Okay? Because it lets it flow, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to flow. It's going to make money because it's like...
These are all Ted Lasso references, by the way.
There's dumbasses who are like, oh, I'll tune into Doomsday hour 17 because I think Shooty's going to rock up. And he ain't, all right? You're a dumbass who think he is.
Oh my God.
Okay?
You're the bluntest motherfucker I know, Conor.
Really?
Yes. Some poor listener has just gone, fuck, I'm dumb. Yeah, I really am a dumbass.
I've been told that quite a lot recently, actually. That's okay.
Time Lord Victoria's phase has made Conor turn into like the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah.
He's gone backwards.
Yeah, no, it's, yeah. I look, but I do have a bit of a bone to pick with you a little bit because I feel like you said that...
Pick my bones, bitch.
You said... I am. You said that... you said you were excited for the 50th, but I got told by a girl the other day that I remember like stuff like in a weird way, and I do because I remember how people acted on certain days.
I do this as well.
I remember you on the day of the 50th, and you were like, I'm not that excited. I'm not that keen. My hype's kind of died down. So I don't know why you sat here acting like you were like doing backflips and doing the worm.
Okay, can I put it this way? Maybe I said that, and maybe there was times in 2013 where I didn't have hype for the 50th.
90% of the time?
But when I look back on the 50th, I'm like, oh, what a year that was. Like, it was such an exciting year. But I'm like, if I look back on the 60th year, and bear in mind, we're only in freaking March right now. But at the moment and the way it's looking, I'm like, I'll remember November. I don't think I'm going to remember the rest of the year. Do you know what I mean?
When did season 7 stop airing? When did Name the Doctor air? What month?
Think it was like mid-April to like June, or maybe March to May. I have May as an ending.
And I believe that they showed the 50th trailer at Comic-Con, but not to the public. And we only got the trailer, I think, in like October or something.
So it was like a cool thing where it was
there wasn't really much.
No, but the thing is,
marketing.
You had 8 episodes. You had a season, which was exciting, right? You had 8 episodes in March or April.
We had the specials last year.
And then yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're coming up of a year with 3 episodes and going into a year with 3 episodes at the end of them. I'm also glad. I'm not fucking hater. And I know the thing is, I know the situation. Russell's been transparent. Like, Shooty obviously couldn't shoot any earlier. So that was another reason why they kind of went down the David route. So that I'm 100% okay with. And fuck it, I'm on board with that. I'm just like, I wish I was more excited at the moment, because in the 50th year, you had 8 episodes that were fantastic, And then it died down. Well, not fantastic, but it was new Doctor Who, and they were big and exciting episodes, right? And
I'm gonna get slapped.
and then it went quiet for 2 months, and then it was like, oh my god, there's a Comic-Con trailer. Oh, we can't watch it. Oh, I better scour the internet and try and find glimpses of it. And then it was like
someone wrote a transcript of it. I remember, and I was like, oh god.
And then I remember seeing a photo of like the John Hurt with the bag over his shoulder.
Yeah, they had.
That was like the one still that I could find.
They had very bad. Like they had a few shots of Daleks, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Someone took a photo, like moving his hand like this.
Well, they look to make sure you're not recorded in all age.
Exactly. So
I doubt it was all age, but still.
But like, so that was like a snippet, and then it was like, oh, maybe it was September or something. We got the actual trailer, and then you got like prequels early November, and then the special came out in November, and then you also knew the whole time you're like, oh, Matt's about to regenerate in December. So that
True.
I think there was so much excitement around the 50th. I'm not expecting them to replicate that. I know they couldn't, but I just could do with like a mini-zode or something.
I think a big mistake was not doing what they did last year with the specials and split them out throughout the year. Because we're going to get 4 episodes in the space of a couple of weeks and the year ends. And it's like...
How good's November going to feel, though?
I don't know, though. I feel like it's going to be like... I feel like it's going to be too much of a good thing at once. And I don't want to like... I feel like it's going to be so much... It's the ultimate orgasm, you know? Why can't I have 4 orgasms throughout the year? Why gotta have them all at once?
Yeah, you don't want one night of 4 orgasms.
Yeah, like Peter Capaldi said on Graham Norton. It was orgasmic when I won the Oscar. He literally said that. You know, do you disagree with that?
I'll reserve judgment till the episodes come out, purely because
okay.
if it's 3 episodes where it's alluded to that the 14th Doctor and Donna have gone on adventures the whole year, then I'll be like, why didn't we just span them out the whole year? But if it's 3 episodes that work in a tightly knit story, then I will be like more on board with, we're just telling this story. It's just like a miniseries, you know? Like if they take a more of a miniseries approach,
which is most probably going to be, I think.
That's what I hope. Because if it is just like 3 specials, then they might as well spread it all out, you know? But if it's a miniseries are meant to be watched all together.
Yeah, and then we get the Shooty special in December. I don't know.
Exactly.
I just feel like it would have been fun to have like one at Easter, which if that was going to happen, we would be having the first 60th special in a couple of weeks. And then
that would be mad.
How mad would that have been? And then one in the middle of the year, and then one on the 23rd, and then Shooty's Christmas special as whatever day Robert Iger decides to fucking shit out. I don't know. You know, I love Robert Iger so much. The devil in disguise.
Saying that about this like lack of hype that I have, there was like a moment a couple of days ago where I really just sat there and went, David Tennant's the Doctor again. And it's like, I didn't feel about that when he rocked up at the end of Power of the Doctor. I was like, fuck yeah, David. But I didn't kick in emotionally and connect to me like my childhood. It didn't yell at me like, oh, here's Luke Skywalker back again.
Yeah.
But the other day, like I was just thinking about it, and it just hit me in a weird way.
No, me too.
And I had this like emotional 5 minutes where I was like,
but it's so far away. I feel like I'm always preserving my hype because I know how far away it is, and I feel like if I get too excited for it, I feel like I'm going to hype myself up way too much for it. I'm going to watch it and go, I am worried about watching this 60th because there is so much. It's not even just David; it's also my childhood writer who hasn't written for Doctor Who. The most interesting thing about the 60th is Russell. I am so intrigued to see how he writes and what he's conjured up after all these years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most interested in. I'm sure it's going to be great, but I can't help but feel like the first time I watch it, I am going to be disappointed. I hate to think that because I had that with the 50th. We both had that with the 50th.
I think that the 3 special thing is going to work in his favor. Because I think we're going to watch episode 1, and I think genuinely it's going to end and we're going to go, yeah, it was good. Didn't subvert any expectations.
Really?
It didn't do anything.
You think so?
Well, that's what the 50th, right? It was kind of like, it was sort of exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, true.
Because it's like, we have our predictions and stuff, but we always want our predictions to be exceeded by 1,000,000 times, right?
Beep the Meep is actually the master.
I think we're going to watch episode 1, and it's going to be kind of what we thought with maybe a few surprises in there. And I think we're going to be slightly underwhelmed by it. And then I think like throughout the week, maybe we'll rewatch it. And then by the end of the week, we'll be like, oh, that was kind of good. And then I think by the time we come to episode 3, we're going to be on board with what they're going for with the story. Because when you get the 50th and it's one time, you've got 75 minutes to convince everyone that this is fantastic, you don't give the audience enough time to kind of like process it. And for people, you give the general audience enough to enjoy it. But for people like us and like a lot of our listeners who are like super fans about it, you have so many expectations, and it's a roller coaster because when things that you hoped happen don't happen, you get emotionally crushed. And there's like 10 minutes, there might be 10 minutes in the middle where you're like, oh, Susan's not actually going to be in this. And it does hinder your experience watching it. It just does. And it's natural and it's fine. And that's why I think sometimes we watch episodes on rewatch and they're far better than they were the first time we watched them.
No, absolutely. So, yeah, I think there could be more hype, but I definitely think once we get to, I reckon around Comic-Con time, which I think is July, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
So it's around July, which is the summer in America.
In the USA.
In the USA.
America.
In San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
All H.
Queen.
You know? Yes, Queen.
Slay.
And they're going to go there.
Have they said they're going there?
Oh, please. Come on, man. Yeah, of course they are.
Maybe they'll rock up at Perth Comic Con.
That's probably...
Hey guys, we're previewing episode 1.
Perth Comic Con is like the equivalent of like shit on the fucking bottom of my shoe. Anyway, about San Diego. It sucks. Am I wrong? It fucking blows. And
No,
I feel
it's
sorry
terrible.
for them. I feel sorry for them because they should get good guests, but they just don't.
I wonder how that works. Like, I wonder if they reach out, but it's too expensive to find them over.
Definitely.
Or if they're just like, they just don't even try.
No, is it worth like the person's time? Is it, you know, they get like commission.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, what I don't know. We've had some good people, but I think COVID kind of really like screwed them on over, and I think since then no one's really.
Janet said on Twitter that next time she comes to do
Janet said that, which is sick.
Comic-Con sesh or whatever.
That's Janet
in Australia.
Fielding. Am I wrong? Yeah. Janet Fielding. Yeah.
Who plays Tegan.
Tegan. Yeah. Which would be great.
She said that she wants to come to Perth because she's never been to Perth, and I was like, Tegan, well, Janet, I'll show you around Perth, mate.
Dearest,
as long as you hold
Janet,
a microphone in your hand and we talk the whole time.
Dearest Janet, we have a Doctor Who podcast, which I'm sure you've heard of.
You bet that would happen, man. You bet.
I was making a point, but I forgot. That's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible at that.
I was saying something. I can't remember now, though, but that's okay.
That's good. Shall we? You were talking about Oz Comic Con?
It was before that, but anyway, it's fine.
The 60th?
It's okay. It was something. I can't remember what it was.
Shall we move on to what I know you're itching to talk about, Conor?
Yes.
That would be the Eaters of Light.
Of the shite.
Nom 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 nom. Eating of the light. Nom 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 nom. Been waiting all week to do that. It's the 10th episode. No, I haven't.
Oh.
Just 24 hours.
Shit.
It's the 10th episode of the 10th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. Written by Ronna Munro and broadcast on the 17th of June 2017. Munro, as we know, previously wrote Survival, the final series of the original run of Doctor Who.
Come on.
Making her the only writer to date to have worked on the classic and revived eras of the show.
Queen shit.
Received generally positive reviews from the critics. It's when the Doctor, Bill and Nardole, they go to 2nd century Scotland to settle their different theories about what happened to the 9th Legion of the Roman army that vanished. When they arrive, however, they find an alien menace from another dimension that may be the reason behind the vanishing, but is a far greater threat than any army. That's just bollocks. It's not a greater threat than any army. 2017. Conor, can I take you back to 2017?
Are you drunk, bro? What the hell's going on?
No, I'm being perky. I'm being fun.
Okay, all right.
I'm drunk off life because today has been... I was talking to Conor before
drunk
the
off life.
podcast. I've had the busiest freaking day ever.
It happens.
2017, Conor.
Oh, God.
2017.
Yes.
We kind of know where you were at. Was this episode any different to how you were feeling for the previous episodes?
Punching walls.
Punching walls. Fuck Doctor Who.
Yeah. Fuck Doctor Who. Fuck Stephen Moffat. Fuck BBC.
Can't wait for him to be gone and bring on Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, bring on Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
That went well. Okay, I tell you what. Seriously. Alright. This is a serious message with peace and love. Alright, so I hadn't watched Survival yet. If you don't know, Survival is my favorite classic era episode.
Legit?
Ever. Yeah. Do you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That is my favorite.
You've seen not too many.
Oh,
Which it doesn't... No, I don't think that matters as a negative.
I've watched all of the Trial of the Time Lords.
You have, I forget you did
credit?
that. No, I'm just trying to paint a picture for the audience. Is that you've seen...
Oh, that was hard.
Let's put the Trial of the Time out the window. It doesn't count. It's not...
The Trial of
The Trial of the Time. Maybe I'm drunk.
The Trial of the
Let's throw the Trial of the Time out the window.
Why throw it out the window? It was 14 episodes of hell.
Yes, and that's why. But...
Okay.
So you've seen like the Three Doctors, you've seen City of Death, you've seen
Earthshock,
you've seen Survival, the Two Doctors, Attack of the Cybermen.
Attack of the Cybermen.
That's it. Did you Green Death?
Green Death
and Battlefield.
I think
and the TV movie. I think that's all.
I've seen quite a lot.
That is quite a lot in the scheme of it. It's like 2%, but I'm not trying to be negative. I'm genuinely not. I'm genuinely just here trying to paint a picture. Okay, let's move the fuck on.
Next time I won't say anything then.
Maybe that's better.
Well, no, I was just saying this.
The Aidan Green podcast.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. This is my favorite that I've seen. Okay, are you happy now?
See, if you'd said that, I wouldn't have had to have gone on that
I
tangent.
was saying that. That's exactly what I was saying.
I'm just pulling your nut, mate.
Yeah, my fucking nuts are pulled.
Give it a squeeze.
Yeah, it's good to
your nuts, mate.
It's good to check your nuts here and there.
Yeah, mate, it's good.
You got to do it.
It's good to squeeze your mate's nuts.
Yeah, you can do it yourself, but yeah, no, this is my favorite that I've seen. Okay,
Thank you.
Fuck's sake. All right, I loved it because I love the Seventh Doctor and I sim Ace. And I think the idea that it's the last episode of the classic era, there's something kind of like special and spooky about it, you know? But then when this aired, when I watched it in 2017, I was like, oh, Survival, never seen it. I knew that it was the last of the classic era.
Survival? Never heard of her.
And anyway, wait, what? I don't get it.
It's a joke.
Survival, never heard of her?
You've never heard like the never heard of her jokes?
Let's
get to your point.
I know the joke, where are you going? To the gym. Who's this gym guy and should I be worried? That's funny.
I know this joke. Conor.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Wow. Okay.
Conor's a joke. Yeah.
You definitely have not eaten dinner tonight. Jesus.
I'm so fucking hungry. Bro.
I'm trying to get my point out, and I didn't know that Survival was dope, and I watched this, and like I said last week, I knew we had Ice Warriors on Mars and Eaters of the Shite, and I knew that I just needed to get through these dog shit episodes, and I remember watching it and being just astoundingly, just like shockingly, completely and utterly bored out of my absolute nuts that you should check.
I think that I should squeeze.
That Aidan should. Your mates can check them. Again, I suggest you do it yourself.
Can I?
You're not a medical professional. You can't check my nuts.
But I'd like to.
Wow. I think it was Josh who said you'd only get a bit close on the show these days. I was like, maybe, you know, who knows?
Is that a problem?
Yeah.
You said yes.
No, I said no, it's not a problem.
Don't do that to me, girl.
Hey, listen, okay? There are first traps out there for us, okay? People first over us.
I'm there for it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm there for it.
It's a jet going over
Another jet, right bro. That's 3 episodes in a row where loud planes have gone over. 2017, dude, I felt pretty much the same. Actually, I think for the longest time, when people criticize this episode, I think what I would say was there's actually not a lot wrong with the episode.
Your uni mate, Connor.
Other Connor.
Yeah, other Connor. Uni. I don't know if we said that. His name was Connor.
And you were so mad because
fucked me off. Because all my mates went there, but me.
So our main friend group at school was me, Declan, Dan, and Connor, and then Connor obviously did a trade, and so me, Declan.
Yeah, sorry, Xavier.
Me, Declan, and Dan went to uni, and the
fucking guy.
The main friend that joined the 3 of us was also called Conor.
Yeah, this donkey.
So it was the 4 of us hanging out at the uni tab.
And he watched Doctor Who.
Man.
He was a hater though. He's like you in this episode. He was like, Doctor Who sucks. Well, I did just say that I fucking hated this episode when I watched it, but that was hard, man. That really affected me.
I'm sorry.
It did. It was hard. It was half my mental health. That's okay. Life moves on.
It's a hard one because it's like what.
Can't say that. Yeah,
we actually didn't hang out with him much outside of.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's he doing these days? You know.
I don't know. I've got him on PlayStation. I've never played with him.
Yeah,
And I
you
just see
play
him
with
on-
his nuts, or
I didn't ask
have
him.
you checked that?
You should be
Connor's
honest.
nuts?
You should be honoured. I've never asked to squeeze his nuts. So
Okay.
I actually don't think I've asked anyone.
Have
to
you asked anyone to squeeze anyone's nuts?
You're the first.
Is it a fondle or is it a squeeze?
What would you
There's
prefer?
a difference.
What would you prefer?
I don't think, I know some people, I'm not kink shaming, but like I know some people who do like that kind of nut torture. For me, that's not what I'm into.
So you prefer a fondle?
I want to have kids. I think it's bad for your nuts when you get smacked in them.
Yeah.
I think it like lowers your sperm count.
I'll fondle your nuts.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on. What I was trying to say was
What a
that
weird show, right?
this is the stupid podcast, 50% nut
Who would have
podcast.
known this is a Doctor Who show? Like seriously.
Nut who?
Yeah, not who.
For the longest time, my description for this episode, and in a way, I would stand up because people were like, "That episode's just terrible," and I'd always say, "I don't think it's actually terrible. I think it's just so boring." Is what I would always say.
Yeah.
I'd say it doesn't do anything wrong. It just is so boring about everything it does. But I'm very curious to know what you think about it in 2023.
I hate the way I say this every week. Pretty much every week. Because I'm like, the audience listens and they care about our opinions, and why wouldn't you? But you wrote on the thing today, Aidan, stop saying like so much. I should write, Conor, stop saying, this is the most I've liked it. Because I say that all the time, and I hate that I keep saying it. That being said, this is the most I've liked it. But that being said as well, I think this is maybe the second time I've ever watched it, and it is so boring. It is so boring and dull. And do you know what sucks? Like, you know how we were talking about being embarrassed by watching Doctor Who?
Yep.
I was watching it on the big TV upstairs, the 4K, and Flex. It's not 8K like Aidan's.
I was going to say, wait till you hear how I watched mine.
It's not 8K, but that's okay. It's half of that. But my sister came out and she was like, "Is this Doctor Who?" And I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" I was like, "Yeah." And that's when the fucking big little like guy came out, like the CGI, and I was like,
I'm gonna pause here.
to clarify, I don't like this episode. I think it's shit. But what did you think though?
Well, I also like to just explain a point you made just very briefly.
Yeah.
In that, I would like to apologize for how much I've said like recently in the podcast. So
I didn't think
re-listening,
you have, but
listening
okay.
and editing to the podcast, I've realized how much I've gone through a phase of saying like, and I'll just keep going like
I
a ridiculous amount. It's okay to use like in a sentence, but it was overkill. So on the run sheet today, in big bold letters, in an exclamation mark, in the largest font available, I wrote, "Aidan, stop saying like so much."
How do you think you've been doing so far?
I think okay, because I think I've been angry. And so I think I've stopped saying
So
like.
when you're angry, you don't say like as much.
I guess.
That's when the truth comes out. You're like, no more likes.
No likes.
Just anger.
The only likes I want to see are likes on this video.
Hey, if you don't like your own videos, then what are you doing? I like our own videos.
I've seen you do that, yeah.
Oh, you got to.
You gotta do it.
I notice you never do it, so I sneak onto the video and go like.
And you do it. Yeah, I've even noticed that.
If you don't like your own videos, who will?
I upload the podcast on like private schedule
Yeah, and
on
I
Sundays
sneak on,
usually,
I'm like-
and then I'll wake up Monday morning and there's always a little like there.
Yeah,
that
because
Connor's
who
followed.
else? No one actually can have access to it.
So whenever you look at the like ratio on the YouTube videos, just take one off because you know that's Connor.
Yeah, but if you don't like your own videos, who will?
No one.
Clearly.
So this episode, man, let me paint a picture. Right.
It's 2017.
Well, I've said my 2017.
Aidan's
thoughts.
been at the TAV.
20 no,
with Conor.
let's go 2023 Aidan, right? Aidan has talked a lot of shit about this 8K TV, and he's gone, "Mum, Dad, what's the point of it? Like, you can't watch TV in fucking 8K." And that's like, whenever you're like, I was upstairs watching the 4K TV, I'm always like, does that matter? You're watching it in 1080 still.
No.
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 So
It looks better than my shitty 1080p fucking TV downstairs.
I had the upstairs to myself for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this 8K TV. I've used it for a couple of things, for like Mando and stuff, which is in like big 4K fancy stuff, and there's like surround sound in there, and so it works really nice and stuff. But I was like, okay, let's try like a 1080p Doctor Who episode and see how it looks in there. Looked fucking great.
No, well, I bet.
I could have said I was watching a 4K thing, you know.
Yeah, bro, I bet.
Like,
That's what I mean, though. It's going to look good.
it looked great.
I bet it fucking cost a pretty penny as well, so you'd hope it looked good.
It's a shame that it's such like a kind of ordinary episode in terms of like
The hills are nice.
No, but what I mean, like the surround sound. Like, there's
Right.
episodes you can watch where things are going like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom.
knock.
Knock. Yeah.
That's when you put your headphones
Because
on.
we've
you
got
go,
a really
"Whoa."
good. I helped a lot in setting up a really good surround sound setup up there.
Oh, well done.
Thanks, man. What can I say? I know about sound.
You're very handy. You could be your hands,
Especially-
apparently.
Especially with nuts.
Yeah, apparently you could be your hands.
So yeah, I watched it upstairs, and yeah, there was a couple of times I could hear like surround sound stuff, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But it's not
was
like
was it the crow going? Gah!
no, it was just like every now and then there'd be a scene, and you just hear like the boys like a couple of like swords dinging in the background.
Ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, whoa, is
Oh.
it behind me? Shit.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I watched this episode expecting to have the same opinion I've had the whole time, that it's boring, and I watched it and I thought, you know what? I enjoyed that.
Okay.
I didn't love it. I don't think it's remotely that good. I think there's bits that are boring, but I kind of enjoyed it. I thought that like there's long dialogue scenes that run a bit too long, and sometimes they're kind of about nothing. But I just enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the setting, like you said, the hills.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It felt very where I'm from in the UK, which is very north
Hull.
of England. Nope, I'm from Kendal. So very north.
Kendall Roy.
Very not Kendall Roy, you Succession nerd. But it reminds me of
I'll
the
cop
hills, like where I come from, because it's a very hilly place. It's lots of fields where I come from.
Over the castle on the hill.
Running up that hill, like a deal with God.
Okay, no, I agree. And I think this episode gets too much shit. And I don't really think it deserves it, despite me just tearing it a new one for the last 10 minutes. I think it's actually, like, fine. But I think my patience has weared thin with this season. I think it sucks. I've been thinking about this today.
Oh my God!
This season is so bad.
Holy fuck!
What?
I just think that's a huge call.
But it does, though, Aidan. It really isn't that great.
Can you rate it?
Car?
Car?
Is that car?
Car?
Doctor?
No, can you? I don't want to do something that's going to take too long. Where
Okay.
does it sit in the Capaldi seasons for you?
This is okay, and this is where I suck. Like
This is
seriously,
number one.
this is where I suck because like I
I hate
love
it, but it's number one.
I love there's so many things about it I absolutely love, like the vibe of it and the TARDIS crew, and it does have that different look, and we've spoken about that many times. But I just think the stories suck, and but the last, not really comparative generation episode, but the last two parters, which we're going to review next week, World Enough in Time and Dr. Falls, I think is some of my favorite episodes of all time. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way, which is another saying I use all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would rate it because I just think Capaldi didn't have the best run ever. Sorry.
Can I say,
Sorry.
I think this season for me is also an interesting spot. Where other than the finale and maybe Extremis, I don't know, the episodes in it aren't that great. They aren't all that great, let's be real.
No, I agree.
But there is, I think the low points of the season are far lower than any other season in Doctor Who. And the high points of the season, it's hard with the finale because it's got such a big up curve at the end. But if you, maybe just looking at the first 10 episodes, the high points of the season aren't anywhere near as high as the high points of any other season. You know, you compare it to season 6. The low points of this season compared to the low points of season 6 are nothing. But you look at the high points of this season, other than the finale, and compare it to the high points of series 6, you're looking at Aquaman Goes to War, Impossible Astronaut. The high points of the season have nothing on those episodes.
Yeah.
Once again, other than the finale.
Yeah.
So I honestly do think it's one of the most consistent seasons of New Who,
Yeah, I agree with that.
but not a lot. Other than the finale, nothing stands out as a good episode,
Yeah.
but nothing stands out as a bad episode. The only thing maybe Lie of the Land, because it's such a letdown after like 3 or 4 episodes of build up.
Yeah.
But it's a very consistent season.
I've never, after reviewing every season and actually looking at it as like a whole, I know we haven't re-reviewed the final yet, but still, I know how I feel about it. I think season 10 is, to me, the most like confusing season.
I can't comprehend it, Conor.
I can't see how I feel about it. Because I'm like, man, like, how many times we sat down here being like, it was fine, it was standard, it was like baby food, and like, but also I'm like, oh, but I do love it.
I know.
It's like that late night booty call that you shouldn't be texting, but you do it anyway.
Well, been
you know?
there before,
it's like,
but
me too, unfortunately. But you know, that's why we do it.
I know.
It's like
You do it.
you know, and that's the thing. So I don't know if I'll look back on this season as one of the greats, but boy, was it a good time. And that's what a late night booty call is. It's a good time in the moment. In the moment. And 30 seconds later, it's all over. Nah, that's a joke. Please believe me, audience.
So we haven't really spoken about this episode. There's not a lot to say about it. There's a fucking monster.
Kanja Club's in it.
I'll tell that to Kanja Club.
It's meant to be 18 in it, which is kind of...
That's a reference for you Force Awakens fans, by the way. Tell that to Kanja Club.
All
one of them.
All billion of you, because it's one of the highest grossing movies of all time.
Fair enough.
I think it's very sad. Matt Lucas was high on painkillers unintentionally throughout the whole filming.
I like his... Both of his costumes in this episode are amazing.
They're so cute. The little beanie.
And orange gown. And then it's 2 days later and he's in like...
Yeah, he's in
one
the
of them. He's got the face makeup swirls on.
Oh, you're still alive. God, we make such niche references to episodes that if you hadn't just rewatched it, you'd be like, what on God's green earth are you talking about? I've been trying to do that less, but I just did it.
Well, what I will say is we're finishing Series 10, which is a closing chapter because it's the last full era that we have to review. And it's also the end of Moffat's era, which is by far the longest era of the show. And we're starting Series 11.
You getting emotional? Or?
No. Well, I actually will be. I actually genuinely will be. And the day we do Timeless Child, which will happen this year, and will be the final New Who thing. That's when we complete our goal with this podcast. I'm actually going to be sad. I genuinely, I promise you, it's going to be hard because we've done this for almost 3 years now. Every single fucking week.
So much has changed.
Every single fucking week we've done this though, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And it's going to be genuinely sad to finish our mission statement. Anyways.
Mission log. Final log.
Closing off for the last time. 50%.
Good night.
Oh, wait. We're going to make more content.
Just kidding. It's all downhill from there, you know.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. You were going to say something. You were talking... Jesus, Aidan. I'm trying to help you here. You were talking about... We're getting to the end of season 10. Right.
So what I was going to say was...
Far out.
A lot of people have not great opinions on the Jodie Whittaker era, which is 100% fine. No matter what way you swing with that, it's 100% fine. But I also think a lot of people haven't really rewatched the Jodie Whittaker era. So...
I haven't.
I would encourage for people, maybe it would be fun to rewatch it along with us when we hit up that era in a few weeks' time.
Like me, like your fellow friend.
Neither of us really have, because I've seen Series 11 and 12 twice, but because of this podcast and the rule that we've had, which thank God it's nearly over, but the rule that we've had
You broke it more than me.
I broke it twice.
I haven't broke it once.
But the rule that we have, and they were for good reason, the rule that we have is that you can't watch ahead of what we're at. So since we started the podcast almost 3 years ago, we've not watched ahead at episodes in Series 11 and 12 and before this, Series 10 and that.
Yeah.
So, and because Jodie's era was so fresh, we've not had a chance to really rewatch that era. So I think it's going to be exciting to rewatch it. And I generally do think, maybe it'll be awesome for the audience to rewatch it with us. And I'd love to make that into a bit more of a segment where we maybe just Twitter things becomes more of a regular statement again, and we get more audience interaction. Maybe I am drunk. I'm fucking up my words like crazy.
That's okay. It's been a long day. You know?
I've not eaten in 10 hours. So.
It's been a bit of a wild year so far as well. I think for everyone. So it's if you want to have a Thursday beer, don't feel too bad about it. As long as you're up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow.
As long as you rock up to work on Friday, mate.
Who's to say?
Joke's on you.
I felt like
I'm not working tomorrow.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, shit. Do you know I've been trying recently nicotine gum at work, and it's kind of changed my life a little bit.
I have gum pretty frequently.
No, this is nicotine gum, though.
Is this to stop the vapes? or the.
Yeah, it's okay. So I definitely was hitting the vapes like a bit of a madman at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure if you know, Aidan.
No, because you kind of keep that whenever you do. Because I'm pretty like black and white in terms of like I'm kind of like standard. Like
A straight arrow.
I don't do any of that stuff that's a little bit
Yeah.
more funky.
Yeah.
But I do notice that you try and hide that. Not hide it, but
No, I
you
do.
definitely are a bit quiet about that kind of thing around me. And I don't
I'm
think,
embarrassed
I don't
by
think you
it.
need to. Why are you embarrassed about it though?
Because I don't want to smoke. I think smoking is terrible. But I do, and I'm like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to die when I'm like 50. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll start taking like nicotine gum and stuff. I definitely want to cut back, especially on like the vapes, which I was vaping like a madman at the beginning of the year. So now at work, I'm like taking these like nicotine gums. They kind of send you though. They're just like they like. Yeah, it's certainly something. It's a little hit at work, I guess you could say. I don't know, because in my industry, everyone like smokes like a madman.
Definitely is that whole construction industry vibe.
They literally call it smoko. The break you have is called smoko, where people just go and smoke. And
I'll
then
also
come back.
say, like, being a little bit more in touch with the film scene, it is so full of people that are like so addicted to that kind of thing.
Of course, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you should be ashamed of it. I'm glad you're maybe sort of trying to think about movements in terms of moving away from that. But
Yeah, no, definitely.
like, I don't know. Like, I've got plenty of friends that smoke. I've got a friend that's like been to. I don't know why I'm talking about this on the show. I've got a friend that's been to rehab and stuff.
Shit.
So like,
Well, God bless.
It's
Hope they're
definitely
okay.
nothing. Then they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely nothing that I hold any negative thoughts against or anything.
That's something nicer than just like chilling with the boys and like having a smoke and having some beers, you know. It's
Having a
nice.
dough, mate.
And I think that is not something that can last forever, and that will be, you know, the we'll see how long that lasts for. But that's why I got the old nicotine gum out, because it's like, you know, trying to slow down a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I told my dad about it. He used to be like a massive smoker. And I think he kind of knows I do, because I was like, oh, I got nicotine gum. That's why I'm chewing all day. It was like, I used to smoke all the time, then I got addicted to nicotine gum, but it was much better than being addicted to smoking. So I only smoke when I drink, by the way. I never smoke sober. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Do you drink daily? That's a joke.
I did in Pemberton.
That's fine. You're on.
I did in Pemberton when I was working away, because it was just stressful and there was nothing else to do. It was a small town.
Why not?
And I made like good mates. I got close with all the bar staff, and it was kind of like a social outing, you know. But yeah, I did get a little bit groogy.
groogy.
Yeah, talking to all the
bit
French
groogy.
backpackers. My bad.
Do you have anything else to say on the Eaters of Light? Because we really haven't spoken about it much.
Missy was at the end again.
Oh, that's amazing though. Those
What's
scenes.
that? That's the third time now she's been in an episode.
Here's my problem with you. Fuck.
Okay.
No. It's not. You.
The fuck?
You said in Lilaland you were like, Missy, it's a Missy episode, but Missy's shit in it. And then you did like Empress of Mars, and you were like, it's so forgettable.
Yeah, it is.
And like, I'm watching this scene, and I'm like, I love this scene, but in the back of my head, all I can hear is Conor going, "This is so forgettable. Why is Missy in this scene?"
It is.
That's all I can fucking think about.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I'm getting through to you.
No, because I think it's amazing.
No, I agree. It's awesome to see her, but it's just forgettable.
No, but
Look at me go again, hating and loving season 10.
oh, you're such a
That's
twat.
what a booty call is.
Oh, you twat.
I'm just very excited. No, I just want her to do something, and at least next week we do get her doing something. If anything, we get to see her do a lot of stuff. So, you know, there's that.
We get to see her dab. This is in the next time
It's
trailer.
in the next time trailer, yeah. Which is
as well as John Sim and every other big reveal in the episode.
give us a kiss.
You got to feel for Moff with that, hey? Because you can tell
Was he public about it? Not wanting to be revealed?
he's definitely said about the John Sim thing. Because I remember at a press for the pilot, which had the trailer at the end with John Sim at the end, he literally said in front of the entire press something like, there's a shot at the end of the next time trailer, and I didn't want anyone to see it.
I remember that.
So if you really like don't want spoilers and stuff, I love it if you just close your eyes in the next time
How could you
trailer.
escape it though?
No,
Especially as a fan.
obviously there's no way. But I think that was his way of saying like, like getting himself out of it, because I think everyone would say, why did you do that, Moffat? Like, it's so easy for us to blame the showrunner for every single thing. How many things in the Chibnall era do you think we blame Chibnall for that weren't Chibnall's decision?
That's what that Radio Free Scar was such a good.
They did a really
interview,
good job at breaking that down.
Yeah. No, I totally get your point. Yeah, I remember that actually now.
So I kind of feel like
he was leaving anyway. He can say what he wants.
Yeah.
He can be like, fuck you, BBC.
The series 10 finale for me, I don't know if he wanted the Mondasian thing shown, because that was shown pretty early. The set pics of Pete with the
they
Mondasian.
did the little image. Yeah.
So I don't know if that was him or the BBC, but it's like you've just got to live in an alternate universe and just imagine how amazing it would have been to watch this episode without any context of the Cybermen rocking up or with John Sim rocking up.
That's why I'm kind of cool on the lack of 6-year footage. I want to be surprised.
I agree. And
I want to be surprised.
I'm going to say, I think the trailer was a fantastic trailer. I think they made the right decision with everything they've done. Showing us everything we've seen, but making it look beautiful. Yeah,
it makes you wonder maybe if the BBC do have something that they're kind of like holding back on that they want to like show, but Russell's like,
This is my no-no square. Nice joke.
I don't get that, but okay.
It's from a YouTuber. I don't remember what they're called.
Your favourite Smosh.
So, like I asked before.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on Eaters of Light?
No. I think I made that quite clear. No, sorry. I mean, with peace and love to, what's her name?
Rona Monroe.
Monroe? Who's Marilyn Monroe?
Monroe?
Are they
Who yells Monroe in an episode of Doctor Who?
Monroe?
No,
it's Marilyn Monroe.
No, there's a...
Your favourite plays her in that Netflix film. What's her name? She was in Bond. What's her name? She was in Knives Out 1.
Anna de Armas, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, she played Marilyn Monroe in the Netflix film.
Yeah,
which I heard was very mid.
Well, the thing is, I've heard people love it, I've heard people hate it. So
Angela Bassett did the thing. Did you see that?
Okay, no, there is...
Okay.
There's a fucking moment in a TV show that is like elusive to me right now.
What, Monroe?
Where someone goes, Monroe! Monroe!
Yeah, that kind of rings a bell.
It really fucking does, and it's driving me insane. No, it's a short film I love. It's a short film I love called Stomping Grounds, directed by everyone's favourite, Bertie Gilbert.
Who is Bertie Gilbert?
Main character is called Monroe, and he's a tap dancer, and he is too focused on it, and he lets other things in his life slip because of his
focus. Sounds like
Whiplash. And it definitely has a lot of similarities to Whiplash, yes.
You mean the whole plot?
No. Yes. But...
It is the plot of Whiplash.
It is. It's different. It's definitely a different vibe than Whiplash.
Have you seen the Smiling Man short film?
Smiling Man?
Great short film. Just check that out.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out, mate.
Watch it with the lights off.
My last thoughts of, speaking of lights, Eaters of Light,
Eaters of the show,
is that I did notice that it had some similarities to Survival.
I was trying to look out for stuff like that, and I didn't really get the vibe, but tell me.
Well, they're all really young characters. And in Survival, you see Ace go off, and she kind of joins like a ragtag group of survivors on the other planet. And in this episode...
She sees her mates as well. She goes back to meet her mates.
Yeah, she sees her mates, which is cool. But like, yeah, they've got this kind of ragtag team of groups. And fucking words... Team of groups. This ragtag team of people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what she ends up... What Bill ends up with in this episode.
Or as I call her, Billy.
Billy D. Williams ends up with... Yeah. She ends up with like... She ends up with some like Romans and stuff, and they're all quite young, and it had that kind of mild young adult vibe, which you know me, Connor. I fucking love.
You love Tomorrow When the War Began.
I tried watching that recently, and I stopped 20 minutes in. But
the film or the movie? Sorry, the TV show or the movie?
The movie. No, I watched like a minute of the TV show.
Isn't that got Chris Hemsworth in it? The movie?
It might do.
You watched it the other day.
No, this was a while ago.
Okay. The other day, several years ago.
I do that a lot. Anyways, there's that. There's also like the whole idea of like going between different like planets and realms, because that's a big thing in Survival. The jumping between like Earth, suburban Earth, and is it Pennyville or Pennsville or something?
Pennsylvania.
Yes, America, where Ace is from.
Hi, Doctor.
Perivale. Is it Perivale?
I watched Survival once.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry.
Fake fan.
I'm sorry. I haven't watched it twice.
But it's
like
constantly.
you.
It's constantly. I've watched it a few times. It's constantly coming between like Perivale and this cheetah planet, and in this
Cheetos.
In this, it's coming between like Scotland, and who doesn't love Scotland?
It's meant to look.
Scotland, and they
meant to
never
look
cut to
rainy.
this void. Okay, can you answer me this, Conor?
Why was the TARDIS in the church window?
That's not what I'm asking today.
Yeah.
What I'm asking today is the other void, and the Doctor's like, you will fight the monster for eternity.
Yeah.
That's my best Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, he was going to jump into the void to fight the monster for eternity.
But instead the soldiers go in.
Yeah, and one of the little girls from the tribe.
So they're going to fight that thing for eternity.
Yes.
The portal that we are looking through is just blue.
It's
whoosh.
blue. Yeah.
It's just
it's blue. It's blue CGI.
It's
yeah.
just blue.
It's like that Rick and Morty like portal, but blue.
Where the fuck are these guys going to eat, shit, and sleep?
I think it's one of those things where like you just don't you don't need to poop, you don't need to eat.
Don't need the poopy.
It's just poop here. Let it flow. If no one knows that, I said that 3 times.
Ted Lasso, mate.
Ted Lasso. But no, I think they kind of like it's like that even in Heaven Sent the Doctor ate. He's eating soup. Maybe they get soup in the portal.
Soupy.
Here's his soup. It's been a long day of fighting this tiger lizard tentacle
Do you
thing
reckon-
that my sister looked at once and wanted to fucking die.
Now, let's just break this down for a second.
Yeah.
These guys are going through this portal
Yeah. Rick and Morty style.
for eternity, fight these monsters. Mm-hmm. So genuinely, for like 100 years or 90 years, however long their lifespan,
Kanja Club.
Kanja Club is fucking fighting these monsters.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
24/7. He's not eating.
No.
He's not sleeping. He's not shitting.
It's not
No
pooping.
time for any of that shit.
No.
I've just got to fight this fucking monster.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why you'd agree to it. Also, the Doctor so quick, he was like, I'll do it.
I know.
I'll do it.
Quite quick.
I'll do it. Yeah, no, it's that's why Eaters of the Shite is shite. And it's poopy, and you should just let it flow. Honestly, I think it's such a great idea bringing back a classic writer. I think it's fantastic. You know what? I say bring her back, and it was great.
Bring Rona back. Bring Rona back. Bring
Marilyn
Rona-
Monroe.
All right.
E-go-O.
Let's do.
If you ask me, Eaters of the Shite.
It's time for everyone's least favorite segment. Let's talk about what we watched this week.
That's not least favorite segment.
I've had a very busy week, so I've not had a lot of time to watch things.
You never mentioned that, sorry.
I literally mentioned it once. The moment someone's like, I was busy this week, you're
I
like,
hate when people say they're busy. Everyone's busy. It's like, we get it. Like,
everyone is busy, but
move
sometimes
on.
you have busier weeks than others.
on,
It's
it's
not
like,
a fucking flex, mate.
We're busy. We're
And
busy.
just saying I'm fucking busy and didn't have enough time to watch a lot of things.
busy doing my Ted Lasso podcast, you know?
Yeah, I am.
Nah, I'm sorry.
Dick, I'm going to be up all night editing that after this.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, so, Toxic Aidan has continued to watch Love Island with his lovely girlfriend Nicole.
I thought you were going to say Harry Potter.
No, I've not touched that in a bit, but we'll come back to it. The one movie that I did watch was Cha Cha Real Smooth, which is
Again.
it's a low-key favourite of mine. It's definitely not cracking top 10 or anything like that anytime soon, but it is a movie that I really love, and yeah, I rewatched it, and I think it's great. I think at the end, it grabs you by the shoulders and tells you what the movie's about, like literally, for about 10 minutes. But it's fine beyond that, and I love everything else about it. I just
Starring
think
Chris Martin's girlfriend.
the lady from 50 Shades of Grey, yeah.
Oh, come on. She does more than that. What's her name again? I forget.
I actually don't know her name.
She's great, though. Chris Martin's, who is Coldplay's beautiful girlfriend.
Kind of loves Coldplay, but it's
do.
it's a fantastic movie. It's young adult, so of course I'm going to froth it. And I had a few beers and loved watching it earlier this week.
And cried.
Didn't go that far, but I did cry because you know what?
You did cry?
No, I didn't. Okay. But what happened was Doomsday got announced, like the proper announcement, and then I
that
like
made you cry.
Twitter started exploding, and I was like, I'm going to start this movie now and not check Twitter. And then I checked Twitter afterwards, and I was like,
Yeah, it was like a shit show.
Fuck.
Like, that was like after the nuke's gone off.
Fuck. Conor, what have you watched this week? You said you've watched a lot, so please tell me what you've watched.
So much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm up to date on Succession.
Cool.
Season 4 starts on Monday.
I'm still early season 2, so.
Oh, loser. I watched Barry season 3, which I thought was sadly mid.
I agree. I think it's mid. I think Barry...
I finally watched your video after fucking 10 years.
Oh, did you?
Well, I agree with everything you said. You know, it's funny. When I saw you put that video out, I was like, what a hater. Can't be that bad. I didn't watch it.
What a Bill hater.
It's like, what a Bill hater. But yeah, I agree. I think it's funny. Out of every show I've watched that's been filmed in COVID, which includes like Ted Lasso, Doctor Who, of all shows, Succession, season 3 was shot in COVID. I never really felt... Obviously, there's a few things, but I never really felt the impact of COVID. And then I watched Barry season 3, and I just think like something was off. Do you not feel like it was just like it wasn't at the level that it was supposed to be?
No, because my problem with Barry roots back to season 2.
Okay.
And I think there's great moments in season 2, but I think the way that Barry season 3 ended should have been how Barry season 2 ended.
Okay.
And so I felt like season 3, we're just redoing everything we did in season 2. Yes, things are slightly different, but there's characters that are there and they serve no purpose anymore.
Yes.
And like Hank, you know, like he serves...
I love No Hank.
I literally hate him.
Really?
I genuinely do. Like, I hate that character so much. And I think come season 3, so much of it just feels like an over-glorified SNL sketch. I'm sorry. And I don't mind SNL. I don't love it like a lot of people do.
It's cringe.
And there's a lot of cringe stuff in there. But, like, I think come season 3 of Barry, it really does feel like it. And yes, the thing is everyone's like, but it's so, like, grounded. It's got emotion. It's like, yes, it does. But it still feels like an SNL thing trying to do emotion, where it's like, I don't really give a shit.
No, I thought it was mid.
It's mid. That's the thing. It's not terrible by any means.
Because that's the thing. I absolutely loved season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I watched season 1 and 2 in 2019. And I held back on watching season 3 for some reason. And then I watched it the other day and I just thought it was mid. Season 4 comes out in a couple of weeks after Succession. Season 4's aired. They're both ended on the 4th season, both HBO shows. Interesting, if you care that kind of thing. I also started Severance.
You're watching Severance, okay.
The Adam Scott TV show. I love Adam Scott from Parks and Rec. Mm-hmm. Love Parks and Rec. Everyone on that show went off to do amazing things. They're all so talented.
Severance is a show...
Such a great... I reckon you'd like Parks and Rec. So good.
How long is it?
I watched Parks and Rec 8 seasons in 27 days.
How many episodes a season?
Oh, it's like a full-on network show.
I'm like, not. No, like you actually can't. No matter how much you tell me it's good, I cannot do that shit anymore.
But season 1 is 6 episodes. The final season's like 8.
I genuinely do promise you, I trust your opinion on that.
Thank you.
But I actually just cannot. Like,
you're watching Scrubs here and there.
Scrubs, okay. I've not watched Scrubs in like ages, but
I think it'd be a really great show for you just to chuck onto the like wind down. I really want to rewatch it because I think I don't really love sitcoms. I find them really hard to get into. That show just like something for me just like clicked. And
Severance,
I just loved it. Yeah, Severance is fucking weird, but I kind of love it. Ben Stiller directs, of all people, and he does a fucking insane job. It's so well directed, and it's like a quick summary of the show. Basically, they have innies and outies. You go...
Are we talking about belly buttons?
Oh, that's what I thought. So you go to work, and basically when you go to work, you go up an elevator, and then you forget about your life outside of work, and you go to work, and then when you go down the elevator, you go out to your like normal life, and you forget your life at work. So you go to work, and you don't remember.
That's a great fucking concept.
It is.
Because how much more productive are you if you're not hurt by the things in your personal life? And then vice versa, how much more happy are you in your personal life if you're not hindered by a shit day at work?
But Aidan, this is a TV show, and there's some stuff going on.
I've heard murmurs of Severance. It's not something that comes up too often, but I've heard murmurs.
I've heard it's, and you know what? It's not really my kind of TV show,
right.
And I'm not like loving it, but it's definitely worth the watch. It's just not really my kind of tea, but Dan watched it, and Stockman said some good stuff about it, and I've heard nothing but good things. And yeah, definitely worth a watch. I think sometimes the idea is better than the concept. The concept's better than the execution, sorry. but I haven't finished it yet. And John Turturro's in it, who I love, and Scott's in it, and I love him. And Christopher Walken's in it.
How many seasons? How many episodes so far?
One episode. One episode.
is
We have been drinking. Jesus. One season so far. Season 2 is confirmed, and I think it's 9 episodes.
Oh, I'll get around.
And they're like an hour each.
Yeah, I reckon I'll get into that before season 2 because that sounds cool to me, and I've definitely heard a lot of rumors. Not rumors, murmurs about.
We are drunk. Hey, we're like, well, I've heard a lot of
this is one of those episodes that just got away. Every now, I think like once a season, there's like one episode where it just kind of gets away from us a little bit, and we just have like one drink too many.
Yeah, well, it happened. Obviously, we're both watching Ted.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, and we keep pushing back the Last of Us chat. Maybe we should do the Last of Us chat next week, but I got some stuff to say about that, but I think we'll leave that.
Can you give me a sentence summary of what you have to say about it? Because I don't think we're going to talk about it next week.
I thought the final was too short. It was 45 minutes.
That's a stupid excuse to dislike something.
Did I say I disliked it, motherfucker?
Okay, finish your point.
What the...
Sorry, I cut you off before you finished your point. My genuine apologies.
I didn't dislike it. I liked it. I just don't... Okay, all right. 45 minutes. Okay, it's hard to talk about without getting into spoilers and like playing the game, and I know what happens in the game, and I think by episode 5, I got pretty sick of it just being an adaptation. That being said, the most accurate and dedicated adaptation, respectful adaptation I've ever seen. Good on them for that. But it is an adaptation, and if you were expecting anything more than that, which I guess I was a little bit stupidly, I got a bit bored of the whole adaptation thing. So I felt like I didn't have to like avoid Twitter all day because I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was just kind of like, how are they going to do it?
It's really interesting you say that though, because I hated it. Well, but no, because The Last of Us, I think genuinely has been like renowned for the first 6 episodes to really not be an adaptation. Like, it obviously is a fucking adaptation.
Okay, yeah.
But it does so many things different than the game.
I love the first 3.
And I mean,
so much.
It does a lot of things. Even 4 to 6, bro. Like, so much stuff is different in the TV show than it is in the game. 7, 8, and 9, I would kind of understand that. I think you've definitely, and I think you're aware of this. You've definitely got to look at it like this is a huge audience that haven't seen it before that are watching it. So, but I think 7, 8, and 9 are that area of the game is really important to a lot of people, myself included. And I think they nailed it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what you mean, because by the time I got to the end of it and we're doing those last episodes where it is by the book, it is what the game is. I was like,
You're right though, they did such a good job at it.
I was like, I'd be keen to be surprised, but they're doing so good at how they're doing it. My only criticism for The Last of Us would be that the infected is forgotten about.
Oh, absolutely,
so the zombies, for lack of a
that kind
better
of
word,
sucked.
They're introduced and they do different things in the TV show early on with them, and they don't play with any of that later on. And I think they're aware. They have, like...
They've said, haven't they?
Genuinely, Craig Mazin, I think he kind of hinted at, like, not that he regrets it or anything, but he kind of hinted at something he kind of wants to amend is to address them a bit more in season 2, which I can appreciate. But, and then my only other fault with The Last of Us is that sometimes I feel like they tried a little too hard to avoid big spectacle. And I'm like, I definitely, like, fuck half of Marvel and shit like that. I hate big bombastic stuff that don't care about the story. But sometimes a bit of spectacle is good. Like, if it hits the story, you can do a big set piece. And I think sometimes The Last of Us was trying a little bit too hard to be a hard drama, that it forgot some of the big set pieces that made it good. And some set pieces that actually add to the story that they kind of avoided. In Winter, there's a set piece. I don't want to spoil it too hard, but between Ellie and David fighting some clickers.
Fuck, did you just read my mind?
That's the main one.
That was one of the things that's literally what I was about to say. I was like, there is a great scene in that Winter scene, which would have been in episode 8, where they do fight with clickers. And it's like, that is like the kind of scene where David and Ellie have to are forced to work together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why was this not in it?
That's the main one where I feel like...
That's literally what I was about to say.
That
funny.
should have been there.
He reads my mind, folks.
That's me. I read.
No, I honestly think it was so great in so many ways. But I was kind of left scratching my head where episode 8 was an hour and then the final was like 45 minutes. And literally before they got to a certain area in the final episode, which again I won't spoil, I checked how much the episode had left, and it was like 20 minutes, and I was really concerned how they were going to wrap it up in 20.
But I think they did it great because there's not a lot. Like, and I played the game along with the show, pretty much. And there really is not a lot when they get to the hospital. What you get in the TV show is literally beat by beat what you get in the game.
Let me rephrase. I more mean I would have preferred maybe, because we have the excellent cold open, and then we have just time with Joel and Ellie and just them talking. I would have preferred maybe an extra 10 minutes of them just having some time together.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can respect that.
Sorry.
No, fine.
Sorry, everyone. I feel like everyone. Do I think it's a bit overhyped? Yeah, I do. But I still loved it.
I disagree. I think it's.
I know, and everyone pretty much would disagree with me, but that's okay because I like to be that person who just like
You love hating the norm.
Kinda, yeah.
I think everything. I think from a production standpoint.
Yeah, no,
to writing. For me, everything about it is incredible. Yes, there's those small faults that I have with it, but I think
let's see how they do with season 2, I guess.
I really appreciate it, and I listened to pretty much every podcast that went along with the podcast with the show, and it's clear that these guys really think hard about every decision they make, like really fucking hard, and I think it's in the best hands possible is with Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin.
Okay, I don't really like Neil Druckmann, but that's okay. All right.
Why don't you like Neil Druckmann?
On 1, 2, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and on 3, you're going to name which episode name. Just say episode 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. You're going to say what episode you like the most. On 3, we're going to say it at the same time.
Oh, this is obvious, dude.
Okay, ready? Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
I think so. Come on. 1,
2, 3.
Yeah,
hey!
It's obvious. It's the best one. Yeah, episode 3 is the best.
Is it obvious?
It is, but I want to say, like, I don't think it ever dips.
It never got better than that episode.
It doesn't, but I don't think it dips that much lower. You know, it's the best episode, but I don't think it's like a fucking cliff. There's not an episode I watched that was like, this is bad. All right, Connor, you can get the fuck out my house. What do you want to give Eaters of Light out of 10?
4.
Really? It's a fail. It doesn't work for you as an episode.
I like the costumes and the mountains, and Pete and Matt and Pearl were all great, and Cancer Club was pretty cool.
Tell that to Cancer Club.
Apart from that, and it was cool to see Missy at the end, even though it doesn't mean anything.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I think I enjoyed it a bit more than you, but the thing is, I don't have anything to say about it. Like, we barely spoke about this episode,
so high, and
I'm not mad about it. But for me, I'm like, it genuinely does fit in with The Lion, the Land, and the Empress of Mars. It fits in with the Empress with Return of Mysterio, with Knock Knock. And those are episodes I all gave 6s. Like, it does the job. It's not like, it's just like average Doctor Who without being bad. Guys, this has been a bumper episode of 50%.
It has been, hasn't it? It's been a bit.
It has.
Every couple of months, there's one episode where we just get a bit too drunk.
It genuinely is.
It does happen randomly.
Yeah.
It's not even planned. It just kind of happens.
Because usually it's just like 2 or 3 throughout the show, and
it's like, ooh.
We're pretty all right throughout it. But this is one of those episodes that got away from us a little bit. What does David Tennant say in Blink? That one got away from me a bit there. Yeah. Was that good?
That one got away from me. Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for listening.
Aidan's gonna go edit his Ted Lasso podcast. You should check it out because he doesn't have work tomorrow. God bless him.
I am, and I need fucking dinner.
Yes, and
almost 9:30 at night. I haven't had dinner.
Is it 9:30?
It is, mate. It's been a long
crackers.
Almost 2 hours long. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed us ruining our lives and getting a little bit too drunk on a podcast about a child's TV show.
Ruining our lives.
I'm looking forward to reviewing Sarah Jane Adventures at some point. All right, I've been Aidan.
I've been that guy who sits next to Aidan.
And you've been the listener that's listened to 1 hour and 40 minutes of us talking about utter fucking garbage. So good for you. I appreciate you, but you should consider your actions at this point.
It's Aidan and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews.
A bit drunk. Doing
Doctor Who reviews. A bit drunk. Da 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 da. Hey, yeah.
I'm not drunk though.
Really?
No, I am. I think though,
What happened, Aidan? You just hit it a little too hard?
if there was one, I haven't eaten. Is what's happened.
Yeah, I know. It happens, Aidan. It's
I haven't
alright.
eaten since fucking like 10:30 this morning, champ.
You said it was lunch. 10:30.
Yeah, I had a very early lunch because I was bouncing between jobs and I got
10:30 is breakfast, bro.
Okay, I had my breakfast at 5:30 this morning, so
If you have breakfast at 11:59, no, sorry, food at 11:59, that's breakfast, motherfucker. You take a bite of that sandwich at 12, it's lunch.
my
That's how
day
it works.
my day. Aidan's routine is Aidan gets up about 5:30, straight into a coffee and a yogurt. Usually after 12, between 12 and 1. Bouncing between jobs, coffee shop that I love. It's the second time I've been there. A coffee shop, like the members of a coffee shop. Genuinely, I promise.
Some very beautiful girls work at as baristas.